Go.
Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katie Ray. I have my partner in crime on this episode today. We have Chris Ray joining the show.
Hello.
Hello. I think one of the greatest parts of our day is, of course, sharing stories about our crazy kids. So I wanted to bring him on because he cracks me up like every day, just talking about fatherhood and what his expectations were and what they ended up being. And kind of just get a view from another perspective of the everyday life, and kind of just talk about life in general and kind of pressures of being a dad and a father figure and kind of what we go through and making sure laughter is like a key part of our day. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We're going to jump right in since I say that all the time. Don't mind the background noises. There's a car show in Ybor today.
And I am your number one fan.
You are my number one fan. We'll make sure Michelle hears that. You're my fan. This is my number one, the real number one fan.
Real number one fan.
This is the real number one. That's true, Michelle. If you heard that, so tell me what your expectations were when I was pregnant with Jaden. Like, what did you envision being a dad would be like?
Well, first off, I thought that the greatest thing was having a boy first. And because of that, I was like, you know what? Now I'm going to have an athlete. And you're laughing because you know that our son is pretty terrible.
Well, we love his
we do
sweet
love him,
soul.
but
he's not as coordinated as others.
No, but it's still great. I mean,
so your stereotypical view
yes, was like, hey, I'm going to have a son. You know, we're going to play catch together. We're going to do all these great things. You know, I'm going to teach him this, teach him that. And then Jaden comes and he's the most loving boy in the world and is the most uncoordinated kid I've ever met in my life.
I'm not going to have him listen to this episode. No, I'm just kidding. He's wonderful. But I totally get that stereotypical view because you were an athlete and I'm assuming you were playing catch at 6. So that was your view of the world. And now you've been... Your eyes have opened to this sweet, loving boy who likes to build a building and take out a fake fire.
And then randomly puts on his dinosaur costume from last year and destroys everything in the house as a T-Rex.
That's true. I love that.
And he comes stopping.
I actually like the reality more than the expectation. I think it's important. He loves when you play games where you hide and scare the shit out of each other.
Well, I basically scare everyone in the house.
How about a daughter? So you grew up in, let's make sure people know you grew up with 3 boys.
Yep.
Cousins. Actually, you didn't really have any cousins that were girls.
All male cousins.
Yep. So you didn't really know what to expect, where I had my 2 older sisters and my brother. So when we had Juliana, how was that?
It was wonderful.
Aw, because she wanted her mom all the time?
Yes. It's quite the difference. Just Jaden and Juliana, you can just tell that Jaden's a boy and like Juliana's just everything girly. Even though she'll do stuff with Jaden, but it's just polar opposites.
I know, I hate saying there's gender roles, but like boys are destructive. Like he runs wagons into the wall, and has no care.
Nope. Destroys everything.
Yeah. They're destructive, or in our circumstance, they're destructive. But I feel like I think Juliana was a perfect kind of segue into
loves dresses, does 45 changes every single day.
Whiny though, the whiny you weren't ready for. I think the world needs to know that you wanted to make sure she was born before the first of the year.
Yes,
because. For our taxes, right?
Yes, 100%. Just it was all financially.
So that he was bargaining with my doctor to make sure to induce me ahead of time. But thank you, Juliana. Water broke the 29th.
Well, here's the thing. You had no say in this. It was basically Katie was in the room and it was just me and the doctor. And I'm like, Doc, come on, man. Like she was supposed to, I think what your due date was January 4th.
Yeah.
4th or 5th. And I was like, Doc, come on, man. Like
it's 4 days.
We can't do this.
Is this okay?
And then he looked at me, didn't even look at Katie. He's just like, yeah, you're right. Well, we'll induce from the 30th. I was like, perfect. And Katie's just sitting there like, wait, what's happening? I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm like, you'll be fine. Everything's going to take care. But I really think that Juliana heard this, right? And she's all right, Dad,
I got you.
I got you.
She is kind of like your sidekick.
But when I come out, I'm going to be whiny as shit.
Here's our bargain. I'm going to whine about everything possible.
So I don't know if I would have taken, if she would have came out after the first and not being whiny, or taking the money and her being whiny. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that yet.
These are fun stories, but how about what you learned when we had to do IVF? Were you like Googling like I was, like what the hell it was when we found out that we had to do that to have babies? If we want, because we both wanted to be parents, like we agreed on that. If we didn't want to be parents, okay.
No, because I remember our first appointment with Dr. Christie.
You were listening?
How confident he was about us. I mean, I'll take an expert's say, and he was just like, listen, you guys are like the prototypical IVF, candidates.
Your sperm count.
Her eggs are good. Your sperm's off the chart. So I mean, just in that scenario, I mean, I honestly didn't really.
Oh my God!
Look at
That was actually a really emotional time. You made it seem like it was like a great conversation.
It was actually a great appointment for me. Katie, not so much, but for me, it was great.
Okay, because I had to remove fallopian tubes.
Well, your eggs were good though. Your follicles.
My follicles. So I guess Chris was listening the whole time. I didn't realize. But you're right. I guess you didn't need to like go back and like check it. I don't feel like I did too much the first round. But that was a lot in its own. So you always said you wanted to be a parent. So you had to kind of wrestle with possibly with us not being parents or being parents. And now you have these beautiful children who are exactly what you expected in every way. Do you think we'd ever be gymnastics parents since both the kids are in gymnastics?
No, I didn't really think gymnastics. I mean, after seeing Jaden first year in T-ball, and him in soccer having a meltdown because of sun, I just foreclosed all sports. I just thought maybe once in a while we'd take him outside.
He loves outside though. That's what's so funny.
He loves outside, and then he'll sit down in the garage and plug the fan in and sit down with the fan hitting him.
Where our daughter she sweats like me, which is horrible. But she will sweat and she'll wear like a huge dress outside and just live her life on a scooter with a sweater. I think we just like, such a simple life they live.
And her Timberlands.
And her Tims. You should always have a pair of Tims with your dresses. But I think we were so blessed with just two kind of opposite but play great together kids, because we really do have like the best of both. I mean, I've never seen anybody else's kid build a whole like pretend building and bring out a piece of the vacuum to take out a fire, and be a fireman and put on his whole outfit and just like clear out a house.
So he has a jacket. He has a fire truck that he rolls around. Then he has a shin guard that was supposed to be meant for soccer that is his inside mask. He has a book bag that's his breathing apparatus.
And he says that.
And he says this. And then he has a vacuum piece that's his fire extinguisher. And then he has a fire extinguisher and a horn. So then he'll wheel that thing in, he'll block off and put the fire out, and then let us know when we're able to recome. And then he also has his outside
indoor mask,
outside mask and indoor mask, and goggles.
And I think it's amazing to watch somebody who you thought was lazy because he didn't want to play any sports, like put this whole outfit on, then just take it off. No big deal. Done with that for the day. Put it away.
And then he'll put his police officer on and arrest me.
And try to arrest people, which is fine. And then you sit there like, what if they don't want anything to do with me? I don't think he'll ever be a firefighter or a police officer.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know either. It's weird to watch your kids and like try to guess what they're going to be. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think right now on record? What do you think the kids will be?
I think Jaden will be a firefighter or a police officer.
Yeah? Okay, Juliana.
she'll probably find some guy who has a lot of money.
No, oh my gosh. It's a horrible thing to say.
It's pretty
There's
good though.
no way. She's super smart.
She is.
Stop it.
I think she'll be. She loves like looking at cuts and things. I think maybe she'll go in the.
Oh yeah, I don't think she has any fear. She loves staring at like her finger when it's cut. She's like, look at it. Jaden was like, oh my gosh, blood, put a Band-Aid on. That's why I think the firefighter. I don't know. I don't know. Where do you think you like, okay, so as a dad, do you think since you were playing baseball like your whole life that you'd be a baseball dad?
No, I don't really care. It's funny. I had a great conversation with Tino Martinez, who would come in and help us when I was at USF, and I asked him because his son wasn't really involved in sports. I said, "Hey, how do you?" He's like, "Listen, I've done everything. I don't need them to. I don't need to fulfill anything through my kids. So I kind of feel like I accomplished everything that I wanted to and had to. So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I would love for Jaden to play sports and even Juliana or Jasmine. But at the end of the day, if they don't, I really don't care. I mean, it's basically more golf for me, the way I see it. Actually, I selfishly don't even want to play football or baseball. Just get into golf.
So you have more time.
Yes, I can just golf. And then I'll pay for his or her golf lesson, and then I can just sit in the background and practice also.
Okay.
So selfishly, I just want them to do things that I enjoy.
Okay.
I'm going for Dad of the Year.
I know. I love this episode. So you brought up Jasmine. So we're on our third.
I think she's going to fuck shit up.
What do you like? What are your feelings on this? I'm super excited. I was super nervous in the beginning. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. But we implanted our frozen embryos. One took, our last frozen cycle was unsuccessful. So in a way, I thought we were going to be unsuccessful. It was a weird thought. So when it happened, I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. But you found out it was a girl. So now I have Jaden and two girls. Like, what is your, what do you think is going to happen?
I just think me and Jaden are going to be hanging out by ourselves a lot.
Why?
Especially
Juliana loves hanging out.
Especially when they get all older and all you guys are having your having your moments. I think me and Jaden are just going to cruise out.
Why are you guys never having your moments? Oh, you're about to touch on something that's going to give me hype. Why can't you guys have your moments? And we're like, oh, great, they're having their moment.
We'll leave though.
Oh, okay. Why are we home? Okay, so is that what you think? It's like boys against girls?
No, never. We'll all be one happy
I think
family.
You and Juliana do more stuff than you and Jaden
we do actually.
Sometimes.
Me and Juliana went to Home Depot the other day.
She had so much fun.
Jaden stayed home.
She went and showed Jaden the hose holder that you got. She's like, we got this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
She's all hype about it. I do. I feel like.
And she was in her dress and Timberlands.
Which is important. It was a romper. And Timberlands. So with Jasmine, my vision is, I don't know, because I feel like we have so extreme children, not like extreme, like horror, like they're just like their personalities are so different. Or I just don't know where Jasmine's personality is going to fall in. Jaden
gives us 105,000 kisses before he leaves and 20 shoulder taps and hugs. And Julian you have to like remind, hey, can you give me a kiss before you leave? And she's just, bye guys.
She basically gives you a peace sign. She doesn't say bye. She'll walk up, put her cheek to yours, and then walk it off. Doesn't care.
And Jaden is like 45 minutes.
Zero fucks from Juliana.
I'm holding up the car line. Jaden's
asking,
like, bye, Dad,
yes.
bye.
Oh my
God.
God.
As he's going, I love you, Dad. Bye. Bye. I have to sit there and wave at him as he's going into class.
I hate when people tell me that's not going to happen later on. It bugs me.
What?
They're like, oh, enjoy it now because he's not going to give you kisses. I think he'll give us kisses forever.
If not, I'll force him.
Okay. So we'll just force our children to give us kisses. So I think this is super fun. Any questions you want to ask me right now? I put you on the spot.
I know. I'm not good at that, so no.
Okay. I do know you're not good at it. I was just hoping you'd surprise me.
No, never.
No? Okay. So what do you think about Jasmine being so much younger than the other two?
I think it's going to be good.
Why?
Because, like you said before, Jaden wasn't really a help with Juliana. It was more of a needy thing, and I think both of them are gonna be helpful.
I do too. It's gonna give them a new
Or
responsibility.
they're gonna be terrible, and it's gonna be
no
worse.
expectation.
Or it's gonna be worse. We don't really know. We'll see. It could be terrible, absolutely horrendous. And they could just all cry at the same time, all three.
This is horrible.
And I want to be fed. No, I want to be fed.
I like all the questions they ask because it shows that they're thinking about it. And I do believe that. In my head, I always heard people like, oh yeah, have them back to back because then they have each other to play with. But watching like my friends who have like taken that 4-year break and then tried again or had another kid or adopted or, and watching them and watching the help they had. And it gives that kid like an extra responsibility to like understand. Have
you seen Jane and Juliana play?
They're good.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes and then it's just them fighting. So no, that's... I mean, all I used to do was fight with my brothers.
Okay, well.
I mean, as they get older, it'll be nice. But
they
nice,
play
like,
pretty good together.
They play and then for 5-10 minutes and then.
They do fight.
2 hours, it's.
Well, because they both want the same exact toy, which is so dumb. I hate toys, but, it keeps them busy. Okay, so what is your advice for fathers that are listening? Parents.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Advice would be to have no expectations.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's in everything though.
Just go with the flow.
Right?
I mean,
like you're like perfect picture of this. And everyone's like, oh, it's perfect. You have a boy, girl. And no, like let them be who they want to be. Yes. Like go with it.
Free birds.
I think you go with the flow pretty well. I think you're doing a fabulous job as a parent. But what do you feel are the hardest things, like things you think you need to teach them that you're not sure if you're teaching them, like the pressures?
I think it's when's the right time to have those tough conversations. Like you never know, because obviously Jade and they ask certain questions, but it's like, when is it right to have a real conversation? Yeah,
like I brag to people that we have it really easy when Jaden now asks how babies are born, because we get to say science. But like, when do we have the real conversation of other things? But right now we can just brush it off. But I think it's again, developmental ages. There's things you talk to children about. I mean, I think you instill by your actions, but yeah, parenting's super hard. I think any type of role model, just like position you have anywhere with children, is hard, because you're right. I didn't even think of that. Like, when's the time that we sit down and we're like, okay, this is going to be weird for you, since our son is very into grabbing a hold of himself as much as possible.
Yeah, he just literally lays on the couch and holds the balls all day. It's basically, it's just me telling him, hey, man. And he's, oh, okay. And then it's like, it does, what's going on? Yeah, I just like it.
I mean,
which is probably the best. I mean, what do you say after that? I mean, I have nothing to say. Okay, just do it in private.
And
please.
I don't have anything to say because I don't understand. So, I mean, he doesn't answer wrong. He's just telling you. So the good thing is we're teaching him honesty. So I feel like that's a good one.
And though Juliana's a liar.
And Juliana doesn't. I think she's not a liar. She just doesn't understand time. So if I asked her if she went potty, she says she went at school, but it's Saturday. So that means you didn't go until Friday. So I'm not really understanding that. And I think something funny for us is that we have now been out of diapers for a year, and we're bringing them back in.
Yep.
And I'm like, why? But it's cool. I mean, I've had a lot of people telling me, like, keep everything low so the kids can help you with stuff. And so we'll see how that goes. And of course, we'll have another episode once the baby gets here, so we get to hear how it's really going, if it's terrible or amazing.
More than likely to be terrible.
What?
So more than likely to be terrible.
No, it won't. As my husband is so optimistic here, my partner in crime. But I think we're I always tell people, like, there's no right or wrong way. Like, you just got to feel good about what you're doing. They're the little humans. They're moldable. I know I can tell our energy if it's off. Like, it definitely rubs off on them. But I think we're doing a fabulous job. How do you feel we're doing?
I feel pretty great, but I will tell you that my energy is usually always top notch.
It's always good?
It is always good. So I mean, maybe it's just yours.
I like my cocky guest over here. It's only mine.
I don't know. I feel like I always have superb energy.
No, I don't know. That is not true. So I want our children to know that we think they can be anything they want. Do not listen to your dad's future, what's it called when you have like a reading or like your future view of what you're going to be. But I think we're doing awesome. And any parent out there, it's not easy, but you just got to laugh a lot, not expect anything, and enjoy it. And
So
we'll
enjoy.
have number 3
Just
and
have fun.
March 5th. We have a lot of fun. Anything else you want to give tips to the audience?
When your daughter asks for a blanket at 5 o'clock in the morning, don't give it to her. Just tell her to grab her own damn blanket.
My husband has the great, since I've been pregnant, they'll like wake us up. So we have to walk them back to their room, but we're exhausted. So we end up just falling asleep sometime on the bottom trundle. And my daughter likes to wake up and not grab her own blanket. She's very bougie and
Very
ask
whiny.
him
She's
for
like, Daddy, cover me. So this was the second time at night. So it was over. So as I usually do, I just told her to grab her
Don't
damn
spoil.
blanket.
Don't spoil your kids.
Told her to grab her own damn blanket. And then it just so happened that Jaden was on top of it. So she couldn't. She's like, I can. So then I had to grab it.
And our kids sleep together in their trundle beds right now because they're at a super cute age. So we have both in one room. So it's easy for that. But we'll see how that changes with the third.
And then Jaden woke me up 30 minutes later.
To
By hitting me in
play.
the face.
And there's no right or wrong. If you sleep in your
That's fatherhood.
children's room or you don't, that's father. Your spoiled daughter asks you for a blanket that she could grab herself, and then your son wakes you up by hitting you in the
Like
face.
6 o'clock in the morning every single day.
Welcome to being a parent. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to do more of these because I think we have funny stories to share about our everyday. Do you think so too?
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes. I mean, we all know I'm the funny one. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're losing a lot of viewers here from this episode as my number one fan. You were at Not a Great Whisperer podcast. My husband was on today, Mr. Christopher Ray, my partner. And we are sponsored by McMullen Oil. And you can find us at Not a Great Whisperer, at Not a Great Whisperer, and at The Real Cray, Krey.
You can't find me.
You can't find C Ray. You just find him on my page. And you'll be jamming out to Morty's music after this. Thanks for tuning in.